Hello guys, welcome to this section on Excel functions. In our beginners class, we talked about how we can add up things either in rows or in column using the sum function. But in a situation where we just want to know the total profit we have in California alone, not the total table, what we need to do is to use a function called the SUMIF function. Now we can either come in here and type by typing SUMIF. Just type sum, you'll get the SUMIF. The SUMIF is not a SUMIFs, this is just SUMIF. So we are applying the SUMIF because we just want to add up the total profit based on the fact that the state must be California. So we can do this, but for this level, I wouldn't suggest to do that now because you don't know the arguments that are in there. Click on formulas, then click on the set function, then backspace whatever I have there and look for SUMIFs. So if I type SUMIF and I click go, you'll see SUMIF and SUMIFs. So we're interested in SUMIF. So I'll click on SUMIF and click OK. The first condition you can see under this dialog box is that I need to input my range. So what is my range? My range is wherever I have the condition located. So the condition is under state. So I'll click here and select New York City. From New York City, hold, for those using Windows, hold your control key and your shift key down and you press your arrow key down to select everything. Now I've been able to select that. I've selected all the states. Now what is the criteria? The criteria is that the state must be California. So if I screw up, all I need to do under this criteria is to select California. Now, what do I want to add up? I want to add up the profit. That's my sum range. So I'll go to profit, click that, and hold my control key down and my shift key and press my down arrow key. So if I click OK, what I've just gotten is that I've gotten the total profit for the state of California. So in California, we made about $83,906. So let's format this properly. So I'll go to my home tab and I'll click on currency here. So that is the amount that we made in California. If I want to apply the same thing to New York, I can go through the same process or I just use my autofill to get the same thing done. But let's do that. Just type this. This time around, I will just come in here the same way, go straight to under formulas, go to insert function. And although it's already selected, I can just type it here to look for it and I'll click OK. So what do I want to add up? The range. My range is, remember, the range is what condition am I using for adding up. So I'll select state, hold my control key and my shift key down and press my down arrow. So that will select wherever I have data. The condition is that the state must be what? New York. Now I can also come into the data and look for New York. So I can see New York here. I'll select New York. So what do I want to add up? I want to add up the profit we made in New York. Click OK. So that was our profit in New York. So for us to give ourselves less stress, we can also go to home. I'll select this and go to my format painter and apply the same thing. So that is how we calculate the SUMIF. Okay, because we've gotten the total profit we made in California. I've also gotten the total profit we made in New York. Now, if for instance, I'm interested in the average profit, not the total profit, the average profit. So what I will need to do again is to come in here, go straight to my formulas, go straight to insert function and look for average. So I'll select the goal to look for it and you can see it here and I'll click OK. The same way we had the SUMIF, we also have the average if. So I can select my range. Remember, your range is where you have the condition. So select the state. What state am I interested in? I'm interested in only California. what do I want to add up? I want to add up the profit. So that is the average. So the average is 41.93. That's the average profit we made in California. So we can format this again. You can come here and click on this and select this. So that gives us $41.93. What about New York? So I can do the same thing. So rather than going straight to formula, and so I can just come here and look for AVERAGEIF and select go and click OK. Having selected that, the range now, my range is the state. Which of the state am I interested in? I'm interested in New York. So what do I want to add up? I want to add up the profit we made in New York. What is my criteria? My criteria is New York. What do I want to add up and get the average of? Is the profit. So I'll select that and move down. So from what we can see, the average for New York is 74.5. If you look at the total profit we made in California, realize that we made good money, but if you look at the average is smaller. We are not getting into the statistics of what it represents. So let's get straight to the number of transactions. What were the total number of transactions that were done in California? This brings us to COUNTIF. The COUNTIF is used whenever you want to count based on certain condition. So we want to count the total transactions that were done in California. So I'll come in here and go straight to my insert function and type COUNTIF. So I'll select COUNTIF and click OK. So the first thing we have there is a range. So my range is my state. So what is my condition? The condition is that the state must be California. So you can see we had about 2,001 transactions from California alone. So let's check what we had in New York also. So rather than going through that stress of doing that, I can just also do the same thing by typing COUNTIF equal to COUNTIF. Select COUNTIF. The first thing I have here, the first condition is the range. So what's my range? My range is my state. And the second condition is that I must have to select the criteria. So I put a comma. So you can see this becomes darker. That means that's the next argument that must be met. The state is New York. I'll press enter. So you can see that we had lower transaction in New York compared to California, but yet the average profit was higher in New York compared to California. So this is how we conduct SUMIF, AVERAGEIF, and COUNTIF in Microsoft Excel. Remember, you can always apply these when you are dealing with taking an average, counting based on one condition only. In the next class, we'll be looking at SUMIFs, COUNTIFs, and AVERAGEIFs. See you in the next class. Thank you.